We have a major update on OG Anunoby and his new contract with the Knicks. But we have a major problem. According to ESPN, OG Anunoby is unhappy with the new contract offer given to him by the Knicks. We're going to break down these latest reports and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. OG Anunoby is unhappy with his new contract offer from the Knicks. One of the main priorities for the Knicks this offseason is to re-sign OG Anunoby at all costs. They gave up significant assets to get OG Anunoby on this team. Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and a very good second-round pick. Considering all of that, they need to bring him back. And hopefully they can do that on a contract that makes sense for everybody. But according to the latest reports from ESPN, Anunoby, while it's likely that he is going to re-sign with the Knicks, as of right now, is reportedly unhappy with the current offer the Knicks are giving him. Let's break down these latest reports about Anunoby and his decisions in free agency. Shout out to the account NBA Central on the app X for giving us the following information. According to them and Brian Windhorst of ESPN, they state the following. OG Anunoby is not thrilled with the Knicks' current offer and will test the free agent market. Here's Brian Windhorst's exact quote. Let's keep an eye on that. Most people believe that Anunoby will stay with New York, but there have been indications he may want to test the market because he's not thrilled with what the Knicks are offering him. Which brings us to the next question. What is the contract amount that the Knicks may have offered OG Anunoby at this point in time? We haven't heard any reports as of yet to what that offer may have been. However, ESPN's Bobby Marks did give us some information and some insight into what he believes OG Anunoby should be worth. According to Bobby Marks, and shout out to Knicks Muse on the app X for giving us the following information. He helped to reveal that he would offer OG Anunoby a contract of just 4 years, $145 million, with an injury criteria to guarantee the fourth season. The impact on the court is clear. However, it's watered down by Anunoby's lack of availability. This is why Bobby Marks would give Anunoby $145 million over 4 years. His injury history is extremely concerning. Shout out to NBA insiders from ESPN, Bobby Marks, and of course, Brian Windhorst for giving us the following updates about OG Anunoby and his new contract with the Knicks. Now, again, we don't know the exact contract that the Knicks offered him, but let's say it was exactly what Bobby Marks stated. It's 4 years, $145 million, which breaks out to be around $36 million per year. That's exactly what OG Anunoby's market value is. So I don't know why he would be upset with a contract like that. Was he expecting around $40 million, maybe around $45 million? I'm not sure exactly what he was hoping for, but you got to expect, given all of the injuries he's been dealing with, the amount of games he's missed, not only during his time as a Knick, but during his entire career, you got to anticipate that the Knicks are going to take that into consideration and offer him a contract based off of that. And I guarantee that's exactly what the Knicks did. And I'm pretty sure they put in some injury protections in his contract just in case he does suffer from more injuries moving forward in his career. And there's no issue with that. If I'm the Knicks, I have to do that because I'm protecting myself and I'm protecting my investment. Let's say Anunoby goes down with an injury, which seems to be the case each and every year he plays basketball. I need to protect myself in that situation. That's why I have no problem if the Knicks offered OG Anunoby the exact contract we just spoke about that Bobby Marks just broke down. Because in my opinion, he's worth that amount. If you want to pay him a little bit less, I'm okay with that. A little bit more just to seal the deal and keep him happy, I'm okay with that too. But I'm not overpaying OG Anunoby as well. So he has to be a little bit considerate here. He can't accept an overpay, but we can't underpay him as well. We want to make sure he's fairly paid, but he has to work with us as well too. We want to remain flexible as a team moving forward. And the only way to do that is to make sure we give out fair contracts. And OG Anunoby knows that. In order for the Knicks to build a contender, we need to retain certain players. OG's one of those players. iHeart's one of those players. We need to retain the core of Julius Randle and, of course, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo. Keeping all of those guys together is absolutely key because all of them helped the Knicks get that second seed this past season and took us all the way to the Eastern Conference semifinals, Game 7. Once you see that, you see their impact and you understand that, you have to make sure you keep this team together and you add the right pieces. And OG Anunoby is a must-have. The Knicks must keep him. Re-signing OG Anunoby is the priority. It's a key move. The Knicks have to do it. The Knicks have to add the right pieces. And OG Anunoby is absolutely the right piece. He is a must-have. The Knicks have no choice at this point in time. They need to keep him. But that's where the problem lies for me. Because the Knicks have to keep him, they might have to overpay him to keep him happy. But see, OG Anunoby knows that the Knicks are in a bind here. And in my opinion, he should work with the Knicks and give him a little bit of a discount. That way he's happy, the Knicks are happy, and we keep our flexibility. We're going to need that in the future if we're looking to trade for a star. Remember, we want to add another piece, another all-star to the core that we have of OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle. If we're going to do that, we need to make sure we're giving contracts that are favorable to each and every player we want to retain. That includes OG Anunoby, and that, of course, includes Isaiah Hartenstein. Hopefully, the Knicks can work it out and get this done. But whatever contract they gave OG Anunoby at this point in time, at least according to ESPN, he does not like the offer. But Brian Windhorst did state he does expect, like many other NBA insiders believe around the league, that OG Anunoby will absolutely re-sign with the Knicks this offseason. So that's the good news there. The only question mark is, what is going to be the final dollar amount that he signs with the Knicks for? In my opinion, it should be around 35, 36 million. But if he's not happy with that amount, it's likely going to be closer to 40 million. Now, you might consider that an overpay, but at this point in time, what do you want the Knicks to do? They gave up significant assets for OG Anunoby. He is the perfect fit for this team when healthy. And I think if they get his conditioning right, he might not be as injury prone moving forward in his career. We're going to have to wait till training camp and see what he does under Tom Thibodeau. But if anything, we already know conditioning and Thibodeau go very well together. And if OG Anunoby needs better conditioning, there is no better head coach for him to be playing under than Tom Thibodeau. He's going to get him right. He's going to get his body right, and he's going to make sure he's available for more games than ever before. I absolutely believe that. Anunoby's too young, he's too good, and he's too athletic to not be able to play more games over the course of his career. So I think next year with the Knicks, you're going to see a brand new OG Anunoby, a better Anunoby, a more locked in and a more focused OG than we've ever seen before. And that's only going to benefit the Knicks. If you have a legit big three in OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson, that's a very hard big three to stop. You got defense, you got offense, you got superstars, you got all-stars, you got game changers as part of that big three. And that's exactly what you need if your goal is to go all the way to the NBA Finals. And that's where the Knicks want to be. You get there by drafting right, you get there by making the right trades, and you get there by making sure you retain the key players that got you all the way to the dance beforehand. OG Anunoby's one of those players. So I understand it. He may not be happy right now with the current offer, but I guarantee once contract negotiations are over, OG's going to be very happy with that new contract. And regardless how anybody feels within the fan base, we're all going to have to accept it. OG and his impact with the Knicks, you just can't say enough about it. When he's on the floor for New York, we look like a different team, a better team, a more impactful team. We can't forget that. I don't know about you guys, but I still can't forget January. And we weren't even fully healthy or fully whole at that point in time. Imagine if we were. Imagine if that entire roster in January had an entire training camp underneath their belt. How would they have looked for the entire season? That's what I'm thinking about. That's what's scary, but that's also what's very exciting. That's why Leon Rose and this Knicks front office this offseason can remain patient and wait for the right star to become available, because they're only one or two pieces away from being a legit locked-in contender for the NBA Finals each and every year. one or two pieces away. We've waited. We've been patient. We've watched Leon Rose make magic happen. And now we're finally here. This offseason, magic is happening again, courtesy of this Knicks front office and Leon Rose. They're going to make another major move happen. Another major trade is coming. And that trade is going to help this Knicks team move forward the right way. Best believe Leon Rose is not going to let us down. I believe in him and I trust in him. After this season, after all the moves he's made, after the position he has us in right now, I have nothing but praise to give Leon Rose. I believe in him, and I know this offseason, he's going to make magic happen again and get us that major star that we need to take this Knicks team to that next level. But what about you guys? What do you think about these latest reports that OG Anunoby is unhappy with the latest contract offer he was given by the Knicks? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.